Hi, it's Deanne. Man, I was all set up to go for this nice walk in the woods while we chatted today, but by the time I got up here, it's this nice snowy day now turned to rain, so here we are. We'll make the best of it. But I wanted to talk about this question I've been getting a lot lately for whatever reason, maybe because it's the holidays and people are thinking about whether they're partnered or not. And it's, how do I attract the right person? Or how do I become more attractive? But inherently, there's a problem with that question. It actually makes us less authentic because our focus is more on the outside. Like, what do I need to do to make myself this thing for these other people? So first, I want you to try to switch that into, how is it I feel attractive? Or how is it I feel like I'm a high quality person that deserves a really awesome relationship? So let's go through a few categories, right? So physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. So let's start with the physical. And there's so much information online about, how to keep yourself healthy that I'm just going to say, keep yourself healthy, right? So find out what kind of nutrition you need, what kind of movement you need, what kind of inspiration you need to keep yourself healthy. But beyond that, it's, what relationship do you have with your body? Like, do you know what you want to adorn yourself in, right? Like, what colors make you feel good? What clothing, what feels, what textures make you feel good in your body? And then also, what is your energy? Are you more masculine? Are you more feminine? Not all men are masculine, not all women are feminine, but what is your true nature and how do you emulate that energy? So if you're a more feminine being, then maybe you put on flowy music and yoga clothes and you move and you flow and you get in that place of juiciness and warmth and creativity and all the things that the feminine is so good at. And if you're a masculine energy person wanting to attract feminine, then you need to find your groundedness, right? Like, how are you a tree trunk? How are you decisive and clear? What empowers you to embody yourself in that masculine, decisive, powerful, clean power way? And so it's having a relationship with your physical body that shows up in a room, because that gets us in the door, right? And so it doesn't matter how amazing you are, how intellectual you are, how smart you are, how emotionally intelligent you are. But often when it comes to attraction, that might earn you lots of friends and good work positions and work partnerships, but it's not necessarily going to get you the partnership that you're looking for in love. So how can you have that physical relationship with yourself so that you show up and you shine, right? You are attractive and it's you being amazing, you. So let's go on to the intellect or the mentally stimulating. It means you need to be somebody who has some interests or have a hobby or be willing to learn and grow. It can feel stale, although it could be attractive at first. Somebody who is kind of scared of relationships and wants to be in control on an unconscious level because that makes them feel important, or maybe wants to attract a damsel in distress or a guy that needs rescuing. Do we ever? But that's never healthy, but we attract ourselves to that because it makes us feel more self-confidence at first. That burns out. So you need to be a person of substance. And that doesn't mean you have to like all the same things, though studies do show couples that have shared interests and at least can show interest in the other person, right? It doesn't mean you have to do everything together, but at least be like, oh, hey, how'd that thing go? Did you try that thing out? Or, oh, what about this? Have an interest in it. But really it's about that you have to have enough shared interests, but be willing to grow in a way that you learn about that thing and then you challenge that person. Maybe you bring something like, oh, you make me think, or, oh, I haven't thought of that before. Let's do that. And so you are intellectually stimulating. Maybe you ask great questions and you show interest genuinely, right? That you're genuinely curious. And both of these things, being interested in taking care of yourself physically as well as mentally and intellectually, it requires that we have some baseline of like a foundation of self-care and feeling balanced so that we have these things to offer. So I'm going to assume that with all of these, that there's enough self-care and boundaries and knowing of yourself and living who you are and what you want, that these are things that you have to offer. But if you feel like you're missing those, then that's the place to start. Okay, so physical, mental or intellectual, and then how about emotional? How can you be emotionally attractive? Well, some people are attracted to people who have very little showing of emotions because on an unconscious level, that may feel safe. But this is actually the category that I hear people have as the highest importance, right? You can lust after somebody, you can have limerence, you can have a fire with somebody who's super intellectual and challenges you, but to have a long-lasting relationship, you have to have the emotional connection, the depth, the safety, and the way that you have that is know how to have distress tolerance within yourself. I'll use the words resourcing, like know how to resource yourself. Have the capacity for strong emotion. Be aware, like, ooh, that really pisses me off, or, I'm really sad about that. Like, be able to have emotion because it's your inner guidance. It's your navigation for life. In addition to having that connection with that maybe more spiritual, we might say, being connected to your values that we'll get to in just a second. So being able to be emotionally regulated. That way, when your partner or potential partner has an emotion too, you don't freak out. You don't shut them down. You don't run away. You get curious and can lean into that because you've used what you do for yourself, right? The taking a deep breath, going for a run, challenging the thought, being able to regulate, you then automatically offer that to this partner, and then they feel more acceptance. They feel like they can have feelings, they can not have to be at their best, and you become that nest, that safe place. That's what takes relationships up a notch. Like they can go out with their buddies, or they can go have coffee with a friend, and they can go complain and be heard, but it's and you challenge me, and you comfort me, and you lift me up, right? And you know how to make light of or balance with being able to one, first be able to lift yourself up, and therefore you're also good at helping me get out of a funk. So that's what makes this emotionally attractive. Emotional intelligence, easy to Google. There's lots of information on that. And then last, spiritual. And this doesn't mean religion. This doesn't mean that you have to believe in God or, go to church. But it does mean that there needs to be more to you. People are looking for more depth. I just feel this in society. Like we've been craving, there's got to be something more than this achieving the American dream, right? Or getting more stuff, or just being more busy, or outworking everybody and making more money. There's got to be something more. And this is where we feel the most safety and where we can have the most depth of connection with a partner. And that is if you know your values and you live them. And one of the easiest ways to figure out what are your values, notice what pisses you off or what excites you during your day. And then say then what matters to me out of that? And then that turns into your value. So, and there's more on this in a course or in other videos, so I'm not going to go into it now. But know your beliefs and your values. Like your beliefs are more like what's your foundation? What are your core orientation to the world? How do you interpret things? What matters to you? And then living your values is more like the action taking. But we can't just know what those are. We can't just preach those. We can't just be judgmental even of ourselves around our values and beliefs. We have to be living them. It is extremely attractive when somebody knows who they are and they live their beliefs regardless of outside pressure, because that is security. I know where I stand with that person. I know what I'm going to get. And of course, it has to be similar enough that you then don't feel so challenged or so conflicted with this person, right? That there's enough shared values that you feel attracted to that. It feels safe and comforting to you. So you're probably hearing a theme in all of this. And if not, then let me summarize it. We have to be able to treat ourselves with like I matter, I'm of worth, I know who I am, I'm worthwhile to go for that run, or I'm worthwhile to get extra rest, I'm worthwhile to make that healthy meal, and not be accommodating everybody else. That creates that physical attraction, physical health first, which is attractive, right? We want somebody where the vitality is there. And, from our caveman brain, it's, can that woman make babies? Can that man go out and hunt and provide? Can they build our structure? Can they ward off threats? So the physical does matter. It's just how we're wired. And then beyond that, what do we bring to the table in terms of intellect and growth and stimulation and challenge in a healthy way, not condescending or defeating, right? And then emotionally, are we here? Does life matter? Can people orient? Because we get affected by things, but not to the point where we're so dysregulated that we can't hold perspective and include and have space for that there could be other views. And then, and actually one of the key strategies of how we do this is to regulate our thoughts too. So thought tracking, be aware of what are we telling ourselves. And then this is linked to knowing our beliefs and values, right? Because when something's happening that's threatening our beliefs and values is when we tend to get triggered, and we have all sorts of thoughts and perceptions about that, probably judgments, and then that affects our emotions, which then causes stress, which affects our physical body. So they're all connected. But when we're taking care of ourselves in all of these ways, then we are more attractive, but we're also far more capable of being at a level, like a higher level, better self, then that's what we're expecting from others as well. People who are taking good care of themselves, people who can regulate. And then we create that dynamic relationship where we make each other better, right? It's 1 + 1 isn't 2. 1 + 1 is this amazing relationship that where it's like, I love who I am and I know what I stand for and I can get through this world without you, but I love my life with you, that it's so much more. So in any of those realms, I'm more than happy to help you, or I have some courses on the website that can help you of the how, the more the details. Start with you.